Hello and welcome to Patrox Radio. I'm your host Patrox, and today I wanted to expand a little bit on what we talked about last week, but rather than pick on any particular topic, I wanted to use this as a catalyst for my personal journey. Now, I'm certain what I'm about to describe will feel all too familiar with many of you. It's an empty and static feeling. It leaves your mind to wander around the questions surrounding life as a whole and yours in context of those thoughts. If the mass of these feelings and thoughts were like ocean waves, I feel like high tide came in quickly and I'm silently drowning in it. I think this latest wave came from an uncomfortable realization. I had not only gained weight, but I am now over 100 pounds above my ideal weight. I am incredibly lethargic. My body struggles to move, and breathing is increasingly more difficult. My clothes have a harder time fitting right, and hygiene feels like it has lowered. In short, I'm a mess. A bigger mess than I had originally anticipated. What's worse is I'm arrogant, but I'm finally no longer in denial about myself. The problem still persists, however, knowing that knowing the problem doesn't grant you the answer. But again, I am not someone in denial. It isn't even my first time around. I know the answer. The struggle feels like it comes from lacking willpower or even lacking support in my environment. I'm not certain. What is certain is that currently I am flooding with thoughts of longing and searching endlessly for whatever it is that I could consider my truly best self. I am starved of a certain genuineness in my life that makes authentic living feel like a myth rather than a daily set of conscious choices that it is. I've had to dig deep and do more research to form a more satisfying opinion for me. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of daily life. We wake up early, we rush to work or school, complete our tasks for the day, all of our work and assignments, and we come back home exhausted. However, in the midst of all this chaos, it's important not to forget that the needs of our mind, our body, and our spirits. I want to highlight first that the spirit itself contains a great question for another time that I want to discuss. I'd like to think it's an active consciousness working upon a greater union of the mind and body to build your sense of self and recognition of oneself both independently and in respect to the universe to pursue better action in any environment. The mind, body, and spirit are interconnected, and neglecting one can have a ripple effect on the others. Our mind is the center of our thoughts, our emotions, and decision-making processes. It's the place where all we know and are capable of understanding resides, and it's responsible for our perception of the world around us. Our body is the physical vessel that carries us through life. It's the place where we experience sensations, feelings, and even pain. And our spirit is the essence of who we are. It is the place where we find meaning, purpose, and connection. Our consciousness, the core idea of I, and how that relates to your environment. If we neglect any one of these three aspects, we risk starving our greater being and spiritual growth. When we neglect our mind, we may become overwhelmed with negative thoughts and emotions, leading to anxiety, depression, or other mental health issues. When we neglect our body, we may become sedentary, overweight, and prone to health problems like heart disease or diabetes. And when we neglect our spirit, we may lose touch with our sense of purpose, leading to feelings of emptiness, despair, or hopelessness. To avoid this, we need to make sure that we can take care of all three aspects of ourselves. This means that we need to be intentional about nursing our mind, our body, and our spirit. It means that we need to make time for self-care, for rest and rejuvenation, and it means that we need to prioritize our health and well being overall. One way to nourish our minds is to engage in activities that stimulate our brain. This could mean writing, reading, solving puzzles, or learning something new. It could also mean seeking out therapy or counseling to work through any mental health challenges we may be facing. I personally find simple games like Sudoku to engage my logical reasoning, but I need to be a little more diligent about reading on subjects I actually care about to even try to strengthen my reading comprehension and rhetorical skills. Oftentimes, I just research topics, but history is a great resource of knowledge to avoid a lot of the same mistakes. It sucks, but perseverance can pay off. It's uh, it's an uphill battle to deal with your mind. It's an uphill battle to deal with wanting to expand and encourage and train it. There are reasons why games like I believe it was Nintendo's Brain Age or something like that was really successful with people like adults, as they are the ones more likely to be conscious of their failing mind in some areas and perhaps want to strengthen it. Or if you want to deal with people who just want to feel like the smartest person in the room, they'll hyper excel in one skill and are unaware of the lacking responsibility of building up all the other mental skills and being aware of other mental faculties that they should be. When it comes to nourishing our body, we need to prioritize physical activity and healthy eating. Now, this doesn't mean that we need to become a marathon runner or vegan overnight. Rather, it means that we need to find ways to move our bodies regularly and fuel ourselves with nourishing food. This could mean going for a walk, taking a yoga class, or cooking a healthy meal at home. If you love food, take the initiative to make your food at home more frequently. And some people, speaking a lot from personal examples here and personal experience, cooking can actively kill some appetite in people, which could help overeaters. You can also make sure that this is an opportunity to build better control of what food you're actually taking in and learn how to build flavors you can enjoy. You can have an active participation in understanding how your food is even built and how you can change things, how you can adapt. So that way you always have something that will be good for your family, your friends, your lover. I don't know. But being able to take the initiative is far better than being stuck on buying whatever fast food option you have or whatever ready frozen meals you can pull out of your freezer. I've yet to figure out how to get past this great hatred I have for working out. Just to be transparent, I don't have any motivational gimmick to convince you that working out is good. I have data that can be searched and verified that says that generally working out in tandem with a good diet is a good thing. And they're all consistent in saying that. A good diet and exercise can contribute to a generally longer life and better overall quality of life. If you need more than facts, I'm sorry, I can't help you with that one. But regardless of the facts, it is true nonetheless. To nourish our spirit, we need to connect with our inner selves and find ways to express our true selves. This could mean practicing meditation, this could be journaling, or spending time in nature, one I personally highly advocate. So to highlight that last part, I believe that one of the deepest levels of spiritual stimulation is to be immersed in nature, to develop a better sense of its condition and to be attuned to its pleasantries and problems. Nature and the environment we interact with is the other side of our spiritual input. The more we grow individually, the better equipped we are to handle the problems of our planet. The better the environment becomes, the more it can promote healthy biodiversity and cohesive living communities. It could also mean pursuing creative outlets like painting, dancing, or playing music. These things help give us creative outlets to express or give us ways to bond with others in a shared space. Our ultimate goal is to repeatedly build up your sense of self in harmony with all aspects of itself and where it fits within the environment. To kind of expand a bit more about what I have personally done to try to elevate my spiritual sense of self. In the past, I used to be a very big painter and charcoal sketch artist. Now, although I feel like my passions and drives have changed artistically, I still do like the idea of sculpting art with my hands. As lately, I have been trying to challenge myself if I could take something as mundane as trash and figure out ways to make it beautiful, figure out ways to make it artistic, and make you have more questions about it. I thought if I could figure out ways to make pieces that would make you think out of everyday trash, it might serve as a better artistic reasoning for me personally to be inspired to keep cleaning up. Um, it is a reminder for me that not everything can have an easy solution, but some things can still be beautiful. I'm not a dancer, but I like to cook. I'm not a singer, but I like to draw. I also like to write a lot, and I don't really share a lot of my stories, but I have personally found that writing has been one of my personal greatest outlets for my own expression. It has allowed me to verbalize a lot of the anger or frustration I have felt within the world. It has allowed me to get past a lot of the heartache and pain I have felt either from losing family members or very bad breakups. So, in short, there are creative outlets out there that can probably help you. You just got to be willing to experiment and try and see what you jive with the best. So, by taking care of your mind, body, and spirit, we can cultivate a sense of wholeness and well being. We can also improve our relationships, work, and overall quality of life. However, this is a process that takes time and effort. It requires us to be intentional about our self care and to make it a priority in our lives. In all, neglecting the needs of our mind, body, and spirit can have serious consequences for our overall health and well being. To avoid starving our soul, we need to make sure that we can prioritize self care and nourish all three aspects of ourselves. By doing so, we can cultivate a sense of wholeness and well being that will allow us to thrive in all areas of our lives. I'm wanting to develop videos specifically for YouTube to help grow my audience around this content. I think, in all, taking the view of how I have broken down health and well-being and some ideas of how I've mapped out aspects to help us is probably going to be the greatest avenue to explore this journey. I may be generally targeting straight cis males, but this discussion will be open to all who want to be heard as much as I can. I have topics already laid out, but I need to develop scripts for them, and for that, I need to decide how long or informative I think it should be for the YouTube videos. I'm working on developing my video skills, which I hope will sharply rise throughout the year. And in all, I hope that I can translate these skills into something educational and informative, but easy to digest on these YouTube channels that I'm wishing to upload. This was kind of my stepping stone whenever it came to figuring out what I thought was a problem for me. Everyone's got their own struggle and strife. And for me, I'm in a constant internal state where I feel like I know I can do better and I know the steps to do better, but I have no incentive to do better despite knowing I should. And that's what I was trying to hope I could verbalize in today's episode. Because I feel like that's a position that a lot of people find themselves stuck in, but they lack the words to really understand and therefore to be content with that situation or to build upon that situation. Because if you don't understand your foundation, you can't really grow or build upon it. I hope to highlight other key aspects, things like hygiene, time management. Obviously, diet and exercise will be a big focal point. Stress management, things like that nature. I really hope that we can put it in a easy contextual understanding in these videos, and that people can kind of build upon that in a manner that will construct something for them. What I mean is, if you struggle with time management but need to understand how to better manage yourself because you may not have the mental ability to work normally like most tips would, for because you're neurodivergent for some reason, well, let's try to find a way to encourage you to expand on these different ideas that could potentially help you, or find different ways to research ways that could help you for these things. I don't know. We will see when we get there, is kind of the attitude I'm having to take until then. But for the moment, I really hope that this very short episode was enough to kind of get you guys ready for something. Something in yourself. Something to make you feel better. Something to give you that spark, to kind of give you that introspection and start your own journey. I don't know what it will take to get y'all there, but I found that I have started and I want to keep it going. So, while I try to get better about sleeping as I am recording this very late, I hope you all have a wonderful night. Remember that Mama Tara loves you, and have a great one.
Tongue-tied in the rain, soaked to my toes, got the chills to the bone. Cold stare through the haze, shrill in my voice and my lungs swell with pain. Call me out by my name, speak to me soft, help me gather my thoughts. Drown it out, plug the drain. Turn the record over, it can't be over. Ah, 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 ah. Write me when you get there, to that better place where you can think straight. Send me love if you can. Manifest the best of your wildest fantasies. I hope you find what you need. Over the hills, sunsets in the trees, soak in the glorious rays. The sun will be out, beating down on your shoulders. Tie a rope round my waist as I venture into the dark. I'll be back by the time you finally know where you are. Tear my ego apart. We are all we are, and we are all but one. Send me up to the stars. The distance between means nothing to me. Or bury me in the sand after I've done for you. I'll tell you what I knew, but I've got no concept of what I'll know. Leave a breadcrumb trail